Mr. Steil is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairwoman. My tour through rural Wisconsin continues. I've not found a Kinkos, but I find more and more people that do have access to camera phones, which is terrific. It's also great to see Dean Tokaji from the University of Wisconsin Law School, my alma mater, as well as everybody else on today. I'd like to direct my first question, if I could, to Secretary of State Michael Adams. Ballot access and methods of voting have been subject to several of our election subcommittee hearings. Some have suggested the importance of providing a mandatory vote by mail. Would that actually guarantee an increase in voter turnout in your analysis?
Well, in Kentucky, no, I don't think that it would. In Kentucky, again, our culture is people want to vote in person. Before I took office, we were 98% vote in person, 2% absentee, and I've easy as possible. But I don't know that would make much of a difference. I think people really want to vote in person. That's why in Kentucky, for example, I just quadrupled the number of days people get to go vote in person. That's how we choose to vote.
Could I dig in on it? It seems like their political cultures are different in different states, how people prefer to vote. For example, in Kentucky, you may want to cast your ballots in one manner, which may be different than Utah or Wisconsin. Can you expound on your understanding on that point of how different political cultures exist in different states in the United States?
Yeah, and if I could make one overall point today, I'm not here to criticize the components of H.R. 1. I don't agree with many of them, but that's not my argument so much. My argument is I don't want to see a Democratic or Republican national bill change the election rules. I think California and Colorado would be upset if the Republicans did that when they held power. So states are different. Utah has a vote-by-mail system. They're more Republican than Kentucky is, and they seem to like that, and I don't question that at all. That's super for them. But I don't think in Kentucky we would take to that as equally. I think the best way to expand the franchise of Kentucky, what we saw last year is even though we made absentee voting available to all people, they didn't want to vote absentee. They wanted to vote in person, and they still came to vote in person. So the easiest way, and actually the most cost-efficient way to expand access to the ballot was to expand the number of days people could vote in person.
And so knowing that our states have different political cultures as well as very significant diversity in our geographic footprints, is the best level of government to encourage everyone to vote, to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat, is the best level of government to deal with that the state government or the national government?
Well, I think you just look at the record, look at what we've accomplished in Kentucky compared to, respectfully, what the national government has with regard to election administration. I'm really proud of what our state's achieved. And we can only do that because you all didn't take over the system. You allowed us to actually have breathing space for Democrats and Republicans to come together around the table and pass something with almost unanimous votes, something that was idealized by Republican Secretary of State and signed into law by Democratic governor.
So you're a Secretary of State. You're also an elections attorney. Could you walk us through your interpretation of the elections clause? You just dive in a little further into your testimony.
Yeah, look, I'll be first to admit I've never researched that issue in a scholarly fashion. I've never had it pop up in a case I've had for any client of mine. So I don't have a whole lot to add in terms of the history or the text of that. I think it speaks for itself.
I appreciate your testimony here today. And with that, Madam Chairwoman, from rural America, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Representative Scanlon is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. Is this coming through okay? I'm traveling myself.
She's in rural Pennsylvania, so yes, you are coming through.
Okay,